Fear is a shadow. Silent, patient, lurking just beyond the edge of our awareness. It whispers lies, convinces us to stay small, to stay safe, to settle for the half-life of mediocrity. I lived in that shadow for years, thinking I was cautious, thinking I was wise. But what I didn't realize then is that living cautiously is the same as living asleep. And sleep is the enemy of greatness. I remember the first time fear crushed me completely. I was standing at a crossroads in my life, one path familiar, predictable, comfortable. The other unknown, risky, terrifying. My heart pounded, my palms sweated, and my mind screamed, "Stay here. Don't move. Don't risk." And for a long time, I listened. I stayed. I traded opportunity for comfort, growth for safety. But the emptiness grew. It started as a whisper, then a roar. I felt my dreams slipping through my fingers like sand. It was a cold night, alone in my room, staring at the ceiling. I realized something terrifying. I was afraid, not of failure, not of pain, not of rejection. I was afraid of living fully. Afraid of stepping into the unknown. Afraid of discovering what I was truly capable of. And in that moment, I understood the cruelest truth: fear had been running my life, while I pretended to be in control. I turned to history to find answers. I studied the lives of those who had faced fear and emerged triumphant. Edison, so many failures that the world could have called him insane, yet he illuminated the globe. Lincoln, humiliated, defeated, yet he rose to save a nation. Amelia Earhart, soaring above the clouds while fear whispered she would fall. They weren't fearless. They were human. But they chose to act despite fear. And that distinction, choosing action despite fear, became my revelation. The first step I took was the hardest. I admitted my fears. Not in vague terms, but specifically. I wrote them down: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of disappointment, fear of standing alone. Naming them gave me power over them. Suddenly, fear wasn't some invisible force, it was a challenge I could confront. Then I faced the small fears first. The ones that didn't seem life-threatening but had held me back for years. Speaking up in meetings, making uncomfortable calls, confronting old grudges. Each small victory built a muscle I didn't know I had, the muscle of courage. And soon, the bigger fears no longer felt insurmountable. They were just larger versions of the same challenge I had already started to master. I discovered another truth: fear thrives in isolation. It grows in silence, in shadows, in unspoken thoughts. So I sought mentors, people who had faced their own darkness and survived. I studied them, absorbed their lessons, listened to their stories of trembling hands and racing hearts before every leap. Their courage became contagious, their wisdom became a lantern in my night. And slowly, I realized, the path is never meant to be walked alone. Facing fear is not a single act, it is a journey. I remember standing at the edge of my first real leap, leaving a job that paid well but drained my soul. My body screamed, my mind screamed, every instinct begged me to stay. But something deeper, a voice I hadn't heard before, whispered, "This is your life. Step forward." I did. The first step was shaky, the second uncertain, but each step forward taught me that fear loses power when met with action. And then came the great paradox: the more I faced fear, the less I feared it. The things that had once seemed monstrous became challenges, opportunities to prove to myself what I was capable of. Each fear conquered was a key unlocking a door I didn't know existed. Doors to creativity, to ambition, to connection, to freedom. I also learned that fear cannot be avoided by thinking or wishing it away. Meditation helps, planning helps, but only action kills fear. It doesn't vanish, it waits. But when you move forward, fear becomes a companion, not a jailer. Edison failed 1,000 times, but each attempt taught him something new. Lincoln was terrified of losing, yet he acted anyway. Every step into fear is a step into growth, and every step into growth is a step into life. So here's what I want you to understand: fear is inevitable, but living in fear is optional. The same voice that tells you don't try is the voice that signals you are on the path that matters most. Lean into it. Embrace it. Let it sharpen you, not shackle you. The journey of facing fear is not comfortable, but it is life-changing. It turns ordinary moments into epic stories, it turns hesitation into clarity, it turns potential into reality. When I look back now, I see that facing my deepest fears didn't just change my life, it saved it. It transformed the way I see challenges, the way I see people, the way I see myself. And I want you to feel that same awakening. I want you to realize that the fear you're avoiding is exactly the doorway to the life you're meant to live. Ask yourself today, what fear are you hiding from? What truth are you too scared to face? The answer will define your journey. The leap is yours to take. And the reward, beyond words, is the life you were born to live.